Hello everybody and welcome back to WoW Mods, and this week we're looking at something entirely new. As you can see, I am standing outside of a city with the statue of King Tyrannus. So what is this? Well, we're going to be taking a look today at a restored, I'm using quotation marks to describe this, a restored version of Stratholme. Now, it's based off of the Caverns of Times instance, which means it's the same model base, but there are several things that I have done to actually change the model. So one of those things is because it had baked in doodad sets with like all the played grain, that's something that I went ahead and I removed so that we actually just have the city without like the crates and barrels of that are emitting like a green plagued smoke. Other things had to be like corrections with like more technical details, like walls being in place, like invisible walls, shaders, textures, things that would normally break, which are not really there. Like I've removed the invisible walls around the ceiling so you can actually fly above. I've also changed the nature of the model itself, so you can actually drag in your own M2s into the model and place them anywhere, even like within inside some of the buildings. So this is what it is, right? And it's a custom model. I've removed the parts of it that were burning. I've removed the grains, and I've added other parts into the model. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead right now, and I'll show you how that's looking. But yeah, so I've been having a small sort of like patrol around the area. But one of the things that I wanted to show you is how I've sort of continued the illusion based on how Blizzard dealt with the size of the city. So as you can see, there's like a closed gates in certain parts, which sort of like indicate towards like the continuation of the city, but those have invisible walls. So here, this is the plaza. For those of you who are familiar with the instance, you'll know that there is a huge shipment of grain here, which blocks the path into where the Stratholme chapel would be. So that has been fully removed. Oh, look at that. I'll explain that afterwards. So this is the chapel square, and the difference versus the other one is this one, there is an actual interior to the chapel. And sorry about that. Flying. These, just ignore the doors that are behind the gate. Those are there because when I was testing the model, I didn't have barriers in place there, and I didn't realize that for the recording that I still had them there. So give me a second. I'm just going to go into my patch, remove that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back, and I've removed those doors so that just to give you an idea, and exactly there. We sort of continue the illusion on that side. This side I did something, again, similar done on the other side of the city. There's a Crusader Square. They do that as well. So it's all been, you know, fairly well contained, and it should serve a purpose. Now, what is the particular purpose of having this non-corrupted WMO? Well, it's for anyone who's actually interested in either making a rebuilt version of like Stratholme. They could go ahead and use this model and rebuild the city that way. That's what it's currently going to be used for. This actually came about because I was having a conversation with someone from the Discord channel, the channel's Discord channel, that contacted me, Biggie Cheese. So here again, sorry, just to take that. The back entrance there is sealed, so this area is still, the town hall / dining area is still accessible. So as I was saying, Biggie Cheese is heading up the effort right now to do a Warcraft 3 era version of the game, and that is, oops, started to float. And so he needs to restore a lot of like the Lordaeron kingdoms, so that'll include things like Stratholme, the capital city, um, I think Alterac, Dalaran, essentially everything that existed during or slightly before the Warcraft 3 era. Now, what else can I show you? Okay, let me go ahead, instead of backtracking here, and go to the other side of the city. So, for those of you who are interested or who are interested in that type of project, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below to his work and that team's work. And you can check them out on the Discord channel. And yeah, because they're looking for people, and it seems like a really interesting project, with a lot of work that needs to be done. All right. So now we continue our path down into the other side of the city. Of course, there you can see there's more locked areas, but they have that sort of like illusion. And now here, an area that most people have never seen in its restored version, which is the Silverhand stronghold as it stands, repaired. Now, what's different even more is that it has an interior. Now, the interior is taken actually from the version in the regular version of Stratholme, except of course I've gutted its interior doodads so that you can put in your own sets of doodads, and I've also made it slightly smaller than the version where you come to fight against Balnazar. But yeah, so you do now have access to the interior. So for anyone, like I said before, who's either doing this for like a role-playing server or just because they want to rebuild the city, this map model works really well. So, having said that, what I'm going to do now, because I've shown you essentially all of the bits and gubbins to the city, what I'm going to do now is, alongside with this patch, I'm also including a couple of M2 models that are going to be used, again, sort of for like the restoration purposes of the game. So, let's go ahead and teleport there right now. Alright, so here we are, and what we have here, or what I have here, are cleaned up versions of other assets that I have in my patch. So one of them is a restored version of the Ark in Lordaeron, so that has been made to match the rest of the city. And these are obviously restored versions of the statue models that were provided by Krysic for my Undercity patch. I made an alternative version for these, which are going to be included in the patch as well, and they're the restored versions of Krysic statues. So if you're going to use them, remember to include credits in his work, because I'm essentially retexturing the statues that he provided for my project, which I am now creating a secondary version for anyone else who wants it. Oh yes, and I completely forgot, in the back there's a cleaned up version of the Tirisfal windmill. It still has like the issue that it's missing a couple of propellers, but for the time being, it's gonna have to be good enough. The reason, for those of you who are curious about this, you can look it up in my video list. I did a video on that previously. Now, if you want to look at just like a comparison of what like the originals looked like versus the restored versions, I have something right here. So here you're going to go and, yeah, so this is the Ark that I have for my current top version of the Undercity, which is used. Then there's the restore, and then we have, of course, the corresponding versions of each statue. So that's going to be it for this week. I hope you all enjoyed. Are going to come back later. I've been working on a lot of like different projects and having a lot of like interesting conversations with different modders out there. So you might see me either cover other people's work, or I might just come back and show you some of the more work in progress that I've been doing on other assets. But until then, everybody, take it easy, and I will see you all next time.